George Schlacek,
the one and only,
has a dream.
My dream: safe cycling everywhere. Hello everyone. This channel aims to inspire people of all walks of life to pick up their bicycles and use them, whether it be for a big tour, commuting to and from work, or for recreational riding on weekends. In North America, bicycles are the most underrated mode of transportation. They have the potential to save millions in fuel costs, reduce healthcare expenses dramatically, and make people happier. Unfortunately, there are still some obstacles to overcome. I basically have to add a disclaimer each time I recommend cycling. We generally have to share the road with cars and trucks, except for a few places where short sections of bicycle trails exist. Enjoy cycling. You might end up getting killed by a careless driver. There's only so much money for the development of new infrastructure. Road maintenance as well as building new roads definitely take priority over bicycle trails for cash-strapped governments. The main reason is that most people don't even take bicycles seriously as a mode of transportation. Fortunately, a trend is underway that is gaining momentum. It will probably take some time, but attitudes are shifting toward more cycling. Many people already know and understand the benefits of riding a bike regularly, and every year more are discovering them. Many cities are already building more and better bicycle trails today than they ever thought of in the past. This trend needs to continue if we want to cut down on traffic fatalities, because unfortunately, automobile traffic is also still on the increase, except perhaps during the current pandemic. The idea that everyone needs a reliable car to travel wherever they want at any time has taken its toll on our cities and countries. Large roadways have changed the landscape, and often they are too congested to make travel what it should be. While those roads may be an efficient way of transporting people and goods over long distances, this is certainly not the case in any city during rush hour times. Why are so many using their cars to get to work, when the trip is often not even faster than it would be by bicycle? One reason I've heard over and over when talking to people is that they are afraid to get hurt. They cannot imagine getting through all the daily traffic on a bicycle. From their perspective, they are right. To ride a bicycle on a busy main roadway at rush hour time is dangerous. So instead of riding their bikes to work, they are using their cars, adding more vehicles to the already huge traffic jam. What they may not realize is that in many places, alternate roads already exist that may not be practical for cars, but would work well for riding a bike. Often those roads lead through residential areas, and sometimes they don't connect in obvious ways, which can make it hard to map out feasible routes. To get a lot of people to try out cycling as a means of transportation, more is needed. But for serious bike trails to be built, demand has to come first. In many regions, the winter season adds challenges. While lots of people ride their bikes in the spring, summer, and fall, in the winter you will only see far fewer cyclists. What would it really take to make cycling a great and safe alternative to cars and public transit any season? Bicycle trails are relatively simple compared to roads, automobiles, trains, and the like. As we know, they have shortcomings, especially in harsh climate. However, compared to the money our governments are already spending on transportation, a weatherproof enclosure for major bike routes would not be impossible to build. For some reason, bikes are still generally considered inferior to other types of transportation. But with the right infrastructure, this could change quickly. Of course, creating this infrastructure within our cities is only part one of a much bigger dream. Bicycles can go anywhere. And where there are oceans, bicycles can go on a ship or a plane. Yes, I am dreaming of a worldwide network of bike trails that are maintained as meticulously as our roadways. Bicycle trails are where a large portion of our transportation budget should go. Bicycles are the only mode of transportation that can make us healthier and stronger while not adding an ounce of pollution to our planet. When kept away from cars and trucks, bikes are very safe to ride. For long-distance cycling to catch on with more people, not only the infrastructure has to change. In our society of instant gratification, attitudes would also have to change quite drastically. See, a trip that takes about a day by car or a couple of hours on a plane can easily take a couple of weeks riding a bicycle. Who's got the time for that? Is it even realistic? In our jet-set world of instant travel, we have taken the best part out of the equation almost entirely. We are focused solely on the destination and hardly anyone pays much attention to the journey itself. This is sad in a way. I hope the adventures I have told you about in this series have shown how much value is to be found in extended journeys by bicycle. We have a limited number of days in our lives. Even when we think we have a lot of time left, the best things should not be left on some bucket list and put on the back burner forever. It is a ridiculous concept that people should be working 50 weeks out of the year in jobs that few even enjoy and get 2 weeks of vacation in exchange, along with a handful of public holidays. Life is too short and too precious for that. Often people get burnt out to the point where they are no longer capable of contributing to society in a meaningful way. Most of us would indeed be more productive working less time and focusing more on enjoying our journey. Life is a gift, so why waste it by slaving away for corporations that are built around the idea of maximizing profits? Money was invented as a means of exchange and a measure of value, but has no intrinsic value of its own. Too many of us are chasing dreams that evolve around materialistic goals, like getting a bigger house or a brand new car. Ultimately, those goals tend to disappoint when we reach them because they are hardly life-changing. Some other shiny object will always show up on the horizon when we obtain something we wanted. Traditional jobs are set up in a way that are almost sure to get us stuck in a rut in exchange for a slow climb up the corporate ladder. Touring on a bicycle for months at a time is for freaks, those who have no career ambitions or those who are already retired. Think about that. For most of us, it is hard to find the time for a month-long bike tour when we have an average life expectancy of almost 80 years. In most Western countries, we have excess rather than lack of material goods. If you don't believe me on this one, go visit a landfill. We do not need more productivity. What we need instead is a slower pace of life that allows us to take out time for what really matters, which of course is not just bicycle touring. This slower pace of life would also allow us to take the proper time to go places and experience the journey in a way that would be totally new for many of us. My dream includes a network of bicycle highways that span the globe, regardless of what country. Bicycles would be recognized as a viable means of transportation because time would be valued in a different way. I have never been on a bike ride that I didn't enjoy in at least some way. I cannot honestly say that for any other mode of transportation. I hope this series inspires you to use your bicycle more and consider doing longer and longer tours. Perhaps one day there will be enough of us advocating together for better conditions and my dream will be a reality. Cycling may seem to be an insignificant activity in today's world, but bicycles are one of the greatest inventions ever, and they have the potential to help solve many of the problems we are facing today. At the time I wrote this, some exciting news was circulating the internet. The Great Trail, as it is called now, was supposed to be fully connected by the summer of 2017 across Canada. That year, I did a tour crossing Canada from coast to coast, west to east. My original idea was to follow the length of the Trans-Canada Trail. Was it possible to follow this trail from west to east?
No.
Apparently, we're still a few years away from that. The Trans-Canada Trail is far from being fully connected, unless you bring a boat and put up with riding your bike on highway shoulders for much of the way. Those sections that have been built by converting old railways are often not suitable for cycling, and many of them allow motorized traffic, which is ridiculous for a recreational trail in my humble opinion. While I don't want to belittle the efforts that are underway, I don't agree with this definition of a trail. I've tried to cycle many sections of the Trans-Canada Trail in Alberta and in other provinces. One example is the Iron Horse Trail, which goes from the village of Wessetanu, northeast of Edmonton, to Cold Lake here in our province. Most of the trail is designed for the use of ATVs. The gravel is so loose that it is almost impossible to ride on it with a regular bicycle. Riding a bicycle with luggage on such a trail is even more difficult. Yet, when you look up this trail, you may find that it promotes the use by mountain bikes. The Great Trail is a move in the right direction, except for the ATVs, which are disastrous to our environment. However, there is a lot of work to be done before it will be suitable for cyclists. I'd like to contribute to this aspect of the trail. My hope is that this channel will inspire more people to cycle and also to respect cyclists more as they're sharing the road with them. Ultimately, we need a lot more support to make a bicycle trail network across Canada and the world a reality. Destinations are fake. Link in the description. The ultimate destination of anyone's life is death. Everything that comes prior is part of a journey. I hope my book and my videos will help you make the most of yours. This is the last video that's based on Destinations Are Fake, the book I published in 2017. I sincerely hope you've enjoyed the series. As for bicycle touring talk, this will continue. I'm going to tell you how my journey of bicycle touring continued after the first tour was over. As you may have noticed, I use quite a bit of stock footage and images to create my videos. I try to do this in a humorous and respectful way, but also in a way that best represents the situation I'm trying to recreate. This can be challenging, but it's also fun. I'd like to know what you think about how I'm doing this, as I've been criticized for it. In the past, I have always paid attribution to the creators in the scrolling credits at the end of my videos, but recently I started putting them into the description below. See, nobody watches the credits, and it apparently hurts my channel when too many people don't watch my videos to the end. I would also like to start honoring the creators of this stock footage by doing behind the scenes videos once in a while, showing how I adapt stock footage and images to the needs of my videos. I believe you might like to see how much work and thought sometimes goes into it. However, I might have it wrong, so your feedback shall be the guidance. In the next episode, I will tell you about the almost 3 years that passed before I was finally able to pick up my tour where I left off in Cancun to continue on to Panama. The idea is to create completely new scripts for this and eventually use them to build my next book. It was your encouraging feedback that has led to this decision, so I'll thank you for it. As always, your subscription is especially appreciated. The content of my entire first book is now in the playlist Destinations Are Fake. Next week, I'll start a new playlist. I'll see you then.